What is going on, everybody, man? We back again. Another Can We Keep It Real? I want to thank the people that make this possible. Shout out to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together. Salute to West Pennington. He's got a men's breakfast coming up. West Pennington doing a lot for the youth. You know, um, he's actually having a sermon he was telling me about, and it's actually the title of it is Can We Keep It Real? And I think we all got to keep it real to one another. Big shout out to our next guest. Everybody knows who he is. Been coaching at Shea for 8 years on basketball, football. Shout out to him, former street worker at the Nonviolence Institute, and many of you probably might have no idea what street workers do, and maybe Mike can actually explain that. Because shout out to all the street workers, especially in Pawtucket, Providence area. Went to Worcester Academy, studied marketing. I mean, what has my guy Mike Murray not done? And what blows me away about Coach Murray, he's not even a Rhode Island, born Rhode Islander, and he has so much passion for the local sports, Rhode Island sports. What's up, Mike?
What's up? What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing, man?
All right, welcome. We had you on last year with Coach Nadeem. Shout out to him and Behind the Pads, what they have going on.
Absolutely.
You've been at Shea a long time, man. You stepped down, people. How you feel about that? Long time coming.
Nah, man, it was a decision that I made. With everything up in the air as far as who's gonna, be coaching, Shea next year. I just felt like, if there was gonna be a time to do it, it would be now. Um, excuse me. First, before I even get started, man, I have to thank, Coach Dino Campopiano and his staff over at Shea. Um, I was blessed to be able to start my high school coaching career as an assistant to a Hall of Fame head coach and a Hall of Fame staff. Excuse me.
And one
Um,
of the longest tenure coaches in high school history, I
yeah,
believe, Coach Dino. And
26 years right now and running. We'll see what happens going forward. If he's able to coach again this upcoming season, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he can, and we can keep that Shea tradition rolling, man. That Coach Camp has established over there. He's been phenomenal with what he's done in Pawtucket, man, football and not just football. Those of you that know Coach Camp or have been able to be around him, understand that it's more than football with him, man. And he's a great dude. I'm glad to call him a friend and a brother of mine. Not just him, Coach Damon Scarduzio, Coach David Hanson, Coach Jimmy Torres, Chachi Carvalho, Matt Espute, our strength and conditioning coach. Um, and the long line of other guys, Coach Wade Labassiere. I learned so much, about, the game of football and how to coach it correctly. And, you never stop learning, man. You know what I mean? And I tried to go into every practice and every day and learn something new. It's one thing to, play football and be a good football player, which I was. But coaching the game is completely different. You got to know how to, get a bunch of young men, to be able to, correspond with each other, man, and all fight for one, purpose, which is to win a championship. And in my 8 years there, fortunate that we made the playoffs every year except one. And that one year we didn't was the COVID year. It was tough for everybody that season. But the long list of players that I was able to coach, including my son, was just special and remarkable. And I got to thank those guys, along with the administration over at Shea and the Pawtucket School Department for even giving me that opportunity.
you named a lot of great coaches over there at Shea, and
They're unbelievable.
salute to Coach Camp. Historical as long as he's been at Shea, holding it down, and he's the citywide athletic director.
He's the AD now for the Pawtucket School Department. Yes, and a rule that the Pawtucket School Department has in place is that an athletic director can't coach one particular team because they need to focus on both of the high schools. Um, he was able to do it this year because he got the position, midway through summer camp, and so he was able to keep it this year. And I don't, I'm not the one that's going to get into too many particulars with that. I'll let him, speak on that. But
Mm-hmm.
let's just say that he's holding into an outside chance that he'll still be able to come back and coach next year. Like that's the only
That'll be
reason
a
why he
blessing.
may not be coaching is because of a rule. It's not because he's ready to step down or anything. It's just strictly that. So it's not an interscholastic league rule. So it's a school department rule. So I'll just leave that at that. But
Yeah, yeah, facts, facts, facts.
Coach Camp is back, man, because
You
what
know,
he does for us in Pawtucket is it's truly God's work. What he does.
and in the inner city, it's so important to have dedicated guys in a lot of these programs, and not just football coaches. You need to be a mentor, because inner city, a lot of them inner city households, we have the lowest number of fatherless homes, and I come from the inner city, come from a fatherless home, and most of my friends had no fathers. So for you guys to be more than coaches, use the mentors.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, I see how much you work with kids. You know. We lose kids, we lose friends, and I seen some of your posts, and hopefully them numbers will go down. We got to stop doing this and do more for the communities.
Absolutely.
That's a fact. So now you're gonna spend more time with the youth level, with your
Yeah.
son.
Yep.
Why'd you step down?
Yeah. With the Fairlawn Cardinals, that's where I started my coaching career with my son, my oldest son, who just turned 24 yesterday. My son Nasir. He, was playing football. My right hand man, my brother, my best friend Mark Carrara, who I also should have mentioned, and Timmy McGrath with the Shea staff because they also coached over there for years. Mark's a Johnston guy. He knew Dino and he knew all these guys from a long time ago. We coached at Fairlawn Cardinals. Our two sons played together, so we were able to coach them. Had a lot of success at the youth level. We started that, and I started in '07. He was there a few years before that. We played semi-pro together. Mark and I, excuse me. We played semi-pro together. And one day I told him, I said, "Listen, I want to get my son in football. He's at that age now. I think he's ready to play." He said, "Oh, just bring him over to play for me. You come coach with me." I said, "Where at?" Fairlawn. I live in Pawtucket. I never heard of him. Moving here from Philadelphia, when I, put my ear to the streets with the youth football game here in the state, it was only two teams I had heard about, and that was the Mount Hope Cowboys and the Edgewood Eagles. And funny story about that. I'm driving one day. I hop off the exit 25 by the Bonanza bus stop, and I see football practice going on where the Cowboys practice at. So I pulled over. I went over to the guys, had my son with me, and I'm like, I want to sign my son up for football, man. And this one thing, it has stuck with me forever. The way that the guy, and I wish I knew who he was now, but I don't, the coach, he kind of looked my son up and down and was like, we got a waiting list, I'm like, waiting list, So that's just a little funny story. They checked my son out, and I guess at the time he didn't look like the athlete, and they breed studs over there, and they kind of looked him up and down. We got a waiting list, man. We'll take your number down and give you a call. And another little funny story. Being from Philadelphia, I'm an Eagles fan, so I couldn't put that star on anyway. So that worked out just fine, man. And but shout out to those guys over there, man. Uncle Hurl, Little Hurl, Nah, Renz, Rook, man. Them all my brothers over there, man. I love them dudes to death. The
Historical too. They're on the
Cowboys.
news. Mount
Oh
Hope
yeah,
Cowboys
they're
always working.
legendary. I mean, you could just see what they put out year after year after year. You look at the young boy Zell right now that's over at LaSalle, the running back James L. And they breed them. LaSalle does a great job, man. But what I'm sure with Charlie Gibbs and Lorenzo and Hurl and all those guys, man, making sure they get some of their kids over there into LaSalle because look what they did. Those guys
Yeah.
are all legendary players, man, and some of the best that this state has ever seen, man. So, um, I love those guys. I played flag football with all them guys. That's how we met, playing with the Ciccone Outlaws years ago. So it's always been all love with the Cowboys.
Flag, right, Ciccone? They had the
Yeah,
flag,
yep,
yeah.
yep,
Are
yep.
they still rocking flag?
Oh yeah, of course. They're 148 Outlaws now, being sponsored by 148 bar over there, Donald Lopes and them bar over there in South Providence.
When I was a kid, I used to travel with like a Terramano Club. They were Manton Pizza. They played Ciccone forever at Mount Pleasant. Man, what's some rough games?
Oh man, yeah, no flag football, man. When they first, asked me to play, I was like flag. Like I never played flag. I only knew how to put pads on, and but it was fun, man. It was fun, man. Won a few championships, nationally ranked. It was a good time, man. Those few years that I spent playing flag football, man, I was able to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people were also in the semi-pro, thing that was going on at the same time that I was playing. So, it was a beautiful thing, man. I was able to meet some great guys, man, and some great coaches like, Coach Willie Edwards. Shout out to Big Will.
Salute to Willie,
He had
legendary.
his he had the Silverbacks going, and they were like our number one, competition, and then Will ended up coaching me for a year, semi-pro with the Ocean State Vipers. He was our OC, and I played quarterback. So me and Willie got real close around that time. And
So you're
and
getting a
then
history
having
lesson
some
tonight. Pay
battles,
attention.
yeah, man. And then having those battles against them guys, man. Him and Jr. and their staff, Marky Roderick and their staff over there at Moses Brown. At one point, man, that Shea Moses Brown rivalry got as big as Hendricken and LaSalle, and I'm not gonna. I'm sure other people will disagree with that, but I say 2015, 2016. We were definitely two of the better teams in the state, regardless of
Even
what
going up to
division.
18 and 19, man, like that D2 and right before you guys went to D1, that D2 was
So
explosive.
it was
We
stacked.
talked about
NK,
Toronto
NK
out of
was in
Westerly.
there. Yeah, man.
We talked about
Westerly,
Tristan Toronto from Westerly, and
he
you had
was a
Stanley
dog.
Dunbar, holding his own in Coventry,
Yep.
Burrville. Yeah, that was
Burville's tough. Burville's been tough, man. They they
well
do a good,
coached.
they do a great thing up there, man. Up in Burville, up in that part of the state. It's a beautiful thing because you can keep everybody together, man. Here, out here in this area, man, it's just a hotbed, man. And at the youth level anyway, everybody's trying to pick over here and pick over there and pick over here and pick over there. You know, I'm focused on, the west side of Pawtucket kids, man, that are going to end up going to Shea. We
Exactly.
we lose one or two every year. Saints will get a few kids from our neighborhood. Hendricken usually gets one or two. LaSalle gets one or two, and the rest, will end up at Shea, and that's just something that we've dealt with, every year. So with the new high school, coming, knock on wood, in the very near future, I think we'll be able to keep a lot more of our guys home. We'll have a state of the art building. We'll be able to put up against any school in the state.
D1 everything.
D1 across the board, and I think I think we become. I think when I say we, I'm talking about Pawtucket in general. I think Pawtucket High School immediately becomes one of the cream of the crop of in the state. Immediately, I think that first year there may be a transition period. Kids just getting used to playing football with each other, coaching staffs combining and adjusting to one another. But I think it wouldn't take long at all. Pawtucket is very talented, extremely talented. Back as far as we as far as I can remember with Javon Smith and Marky Roderick Johnny Santos and those, those guys, man. And, up until now, you see what Jalen Smith is doing down at URI. You see what
Mm-hmm.
Erickson Bands is doing up at Bryant. I mean, Rakim Sanders, Jeff Xavier, Shane DeRosa. The list goes on and on with the talent that comes out of Pawtucket, man. And moving here from Philly, man, and getting comfortable in Pawtucket and, kind of navigating my way through that, man. Pawtucket's definitely become my second home, man, and I'm extremely proud, to have lived here, as long as I have, man, and been a part of, what's going on out here on the sports scene, whether it be, football or basketball.
Yeah, you diehard Pawtucket kid. You know, Pawtucket got the Grundy's gym right over the line in Central Falls, and a lot of city kids used to go up there and work out. It's and the Boys and Girls Club don't really have much going on as much for the older teenage kids. There really isn't much for
Well,
a lot of these.
it is. They got the brand new teen center over there. I mean, it's not new. But they've upgraded it. I say 2016, 17. It's beautiful over there.
Nice, nice.
Y'all, no, the teen center they do a fantastic job. They got a music studio in there. They got a weightlifting room in there. They got a brand new cafeteria, basketball gym. It's so much stuff in there. Computer lab, and it's packed every day. Kids leave school. All of the 3 middle schools, the 2 high schools. When they get out of school, they all, immediately go straight to the Boys and Girls Club. So they do a great job over there. I must say that, man. I've done a
Good,
lot
good.
of
I'm
work with
glad.
them over
I'm
the
glad.
years. So no, they're great. Arturo that works over there, and Jr. Santos, he was running it for a few years. There's somebody else in charge now. I can't think of that person's name. I'm drawing a blank. But no, they do great work over there. I must say.
We need them in the inner city. When I was growing up Manton, we had like the Joslin Rec Center, but all over the city you had gyms that you can go to,
Right,
and it kept us badass kids out of trouble. At least we had
right.
somewhere to go, play basketball, hang out, go to the pool, whatever it is. But it seems like a lot of these communities are getting away from that. They never
Hmm.
listen to what the kids have to say. Speaking of the youth, this 14-year-old class that I'm seeing right now, by the time these kids get to high school, I'm seeing them in behind the pads. What Stanley has going on, breakthrough, and a lot of these travel leagues, what the youth leagues. There's so many great young kids coming up. Are we seeing are we getting better in Rhode Island every
Hundred
year?
percent, absolutely. I feel the talent's always been here, but thanks to guys like Stanley, Coach Stanley, Coach Nadeem Robinson, Coach Charlie Brown that we have over with us at Fairlawn Cardinals with Club Charlie. These guys playing on all these national tournaments, going all over the country, and competing at a very high level. I think we have to, credit. You got to credit the kids first and foremost because they put in the work. But you have these great men that are giving back to these youth, and that training and teaching them the right way. And I think you're seeing that a lot more now. Look at a kid like Quiddy Pay. Look at Xavier Truss. People are looking in Rhode Island now, man. These guys went to, 2 Power 5 schools, in Georgia with Xbox and Michigan with Quiddy. Look at our guys, man. Leandro DeBrito, who, will be drafted this year into the NFL in this upcoming draft. Straight out of Shea, man. His path was amazing. He left Shea, was a 2-year All-State player, went to Vermilion JUCO out in Minnesota. Did great there, left there, went to Monroe down in New Rochelle, did great there, and was able to get a scholarship to Duquesne. And, he's been, first team all defense in that conference the last 2 years. So, with a serious shot to, get into the NFL this year. Mamadou Mbai, who, played for us at Shea, product of the Central Falls Panthers, and went to Shea and played at Shea. And, then he went down to URI on the TD and was able to earn a scholarship, for his sophomore through senior year. Who's now playing in the arena league with the Green Bay Blizzard. He was defensive player of the year for that team last year. I think the training, and that these guys are doing, man, and it's fantastic. So definitely salute to them, over
This is
there.
a history lesson, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, man. So
These,
definitely salute to, Nadeem and Charlie and Coach Dunbar and everything that they got going on, because it's helping putting our kids onto a national level. You know what I mean? And they're doing great things, man. I'm
yeah,
glad to call
even
all
your
those
young
guys.
buck up at UMass Dartmouth, the quarterback,
I seen Dante.
exceptional ball player.
Yeah, it's a Cardinal kid, man. That's
Yes,
what we breed over there. You know what I mean? You know,
takes over, true freshman, sophomore in the class, but a freshman on the field, and they
yeah,
marched all the way to a title. Man, they have championship rings, Golden Helmet Award.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and shout out to
Dante's
Coach
special,
McCormick.
man.
Every kid
Dante's
that
different.
Coach McCormick comes on, he came on the show a couple weeks ago, and he just broke all 25 kids down, Rhode Island kids that they have up there, and
He's got to be the hardest working man in the NCAA. I've gotten to know Coach McCormack very well over the years. He's recruited a lot of our players. We've had a bunch of our guys actually play for UMass Dartmouth over the past, I say, 6 years. They came from Shea. My son, took a couple visits down there. They were extremely interested in him. He didn't get into the school, but they wanted him. It was beautiful going down there. I appreciate all the times we went down.
where's he go to
Uh,
Nichols?
he's done now. He went to Nichols and
I pay
played over
attention.
there. Yep. And but Coach McCormack's fantastic, man, and good dude, man. And I'm happy to call him a friend. You
You
know
got a
what I mean?
chance at the Nationals this year, man. If they can have another repeat like last season, they're gonna be way up there in the ranking, and they can compete for a national title.
Absolutely.
They win the New England Bowl. Yeah, definitely shot. And I ditto that. You're one of the hottest. He's one of the hottest working recruiters. Willie Edwards even said that. He said, we bump a lot of things off each other, and nobody works as hard as Coach McCormick.
Yeah,
Shout out to all the
absolutely.
local guys now that colleges are bringing in. Willie Edwards, Peter Quayway,
Yep,
Bryant brings in Cy Butler. For whatever their duties are, it's very smart to bring in these local guys.
absolutely. I mean, look, man, URI's had, probably one of their better seasons, at least over the time that I can remember since I moved here in '01. They were, primarily a basketball school, but look what happens, man, when you shop in your own backyard, you know what I mean? And not just Jalen, what Jalen was able to do when he get down there as a freshman and earn some time. And he got hurt, and it was during that COVID season, so it was able to medically redshirt him, and that's their conference canceled after like the third game because of COVID anyway. So I think they pretty much chalked that season up like it didn't even count. And then this year, 2 or 3 games into the season, he takes over the starting job and he doesn't give it back. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? A freshman to do some of the things that he was able to do this year at URI, and not just him. The young kid Frederick
Yeah, shout
Malloy,
out Freddie Malay.
yeah, Freddie from Mount Pleasant, starting on the defensive side. And there's quite a few guys from Rhode Island that are on that team that were
And he
playing
sports
this
a
year.
great grade point average, Freddie Malay. Smart kid.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's the other thing. The kids got to be able to do the work, man. They have to. They got to be student athletes. I mean, you can have, all the talent in the world, but if you can't do the work at school, just know that there's a kid just as good, if not better, that has a 3.8, in a different state, and they'll take that kid over you every time if you can't get the work done. So that's
That's
one
a
thing as
fact.
Shea that we always tried to stress, man, was academics, and having a few of our coaches off of our staff actually work in the building, with Coach Camp as the dean of students at the time, for years, and Coach Hanson, who was a gym teacher in there, and Coach Chachi, who's Chachi like created his own position in there. He's like the community. He's the go-to guy for building community within the school, and he's got his own nice office in there, and he's done a great job over there. He was able to put a recording studio inside the school, and the kids are taking advantage of that. And So no, there's a lot of great things that get done, man. A lot of these coaches, that are teachers that are actually in the buildings at the schools that they coach at, man, they're definitely doing God's work because it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's definitely not easy.
No, it's definitely but Coach Murray, I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to when Pawtucket does have one program. Not that I wouldn't like to see the Shea Tolman thing, but I think you guys would be like, oh my god! I said, put the staffs together, give these teams budgets. I think if you give these high school teams better budgets, they could bring in better quality coaches and have better programs.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I
Can't
agree.
wait.
It's going to be a beautiful thing, man. So supposedly it's supposed to happen. The school will be, it's supposed to be like 5 years away from now. The school will be built. I would like to see, maybe 3 years from now, maybe even a year before the high school is built, just kind of combine
Hmm.
Shea and Tolman, you know what I mean, and make one team, and just kind of, roll it forward going into that, just to kind of get the staffs together, those younger groups that'll be returning as underclassmen, having those guys getting used to playing with each other. And so that's just something that that has to happen and will happen. And I'm sure by then I'll be back. I got my young guy, he's 11, he'll be 12 this year. So I want to focus 100%, coaching his team and helping build up that next youth dynasty, man. Because that's we were able to send Shea a lot of really good players that came from us over at Fairlawn Cardinals. And again, Hendrick and got a few, Saints got a few, LaSalle got a few, all guys that went on to be all state, win a ton of rings, and Gatorade player and Alfred Dorbor. But we're extremely proud of that, man. So we want to build that next, Pawtucket dynasty back up at Fairlawn. And
And of course, Pawtucket wants to keep them players in Pawtucket,
yeah,
not let
y'all
them
stay
go
out my
away to
backyard,
private.
man.
That's right. You know what I mean? Let us eat.
These youth coaches, man, stay out of my backyard, man. We got them, man. Leave them in Pawtucket, man. You
You know,
guys
is
got
is
Providence, you got Cranston, you got your whole city to choose from, man. Leave us alone, man. We got this over here.
I mean it's kind of strategic, I mean, not that they're not deserving, but it's smart for Bishop Hendricken to bring in not Coach Perry over there at LaSalle. It's very very smart to bring in some of these
It
youth guys.
absolutely is. We're giving
But
kids a chance, man. We know where we live at, man. A lot of these kids, their families might not be able to afford these schools. These kids they're working. It's so much more coaching in the public school system in the inner city, I think, than in anywhere. And I don't want to discredit any other, programs or anything.
facts.
Everybody deals with their own other things off the field. But I mean, the things we're dealing with, we got 15, 16, 17-year-old young men, some who are already fathers, at that young age, some that got to leave school, run to the elementary school, pick up the little sister, go home, help her with her homework, then rush back to football practice, be there with us for 3 hours. It's, do film. They got to lift. They got, so, it's a lot, it's just
And
not
coach,
okay
there's
to,
them kids that don't even want to go home, and they're safer
yeah,
on the
there's,
football field. They're safer at school. I seen Coach Washington dealing with it this year, where he was constantly had the kids there because let's face like I've been there. They don't want to go home. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They're safer being there, and so shout
Yeah,
out to you
shout
guys,
out to
man.
Mike too, man. Mike, man, that's my guy, man. Mike's doing a fantastic job over there
Yeah,
at Central, man.
I'm putting together a poll of the best high school coaches in Rhode Island, and Mike's pretty high up there on the list. I figured I'd do a show about it. I'm going to do the top 10, have a couple honorable mentions. But I'm trying to use coaches and football fans in Rhode Island, get your perspective in. But shout out to Mike, Coach Dempsey, Coach Dunbar. So many great coaches. Coach B-Ball enjoying the Super Bowl down there in L.A.
Yeah, yep. I
Coach
seen
Blake
Charlie out
Simpson.
there.
I had it back and forth. I said, I think Mike's going to leave Shea. He said, nah, it ain't
Nah,
going to happen.
we talk every day, man. That's my guy, man. We
That's what
work
I said.
together.
He played me, man. He was.
Yeah, nah.
He said, I didn't know that, and I work with him. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
all right.
nah.
And you can play the okey doke with someone else.
Yeah,
Shout
nah.
out Coach Blake, man.
Absolutely, man. That's my guy, man. Good
Another
dude,
one.
man.
Yeah, I love like a lot of you coaches, Coach Blake, Coach Washington. These players will just follow you anywhere. Like they really believe in what you tell them, and that's why we need more coaches like you, Coach Washington, Coach Nod, Coach B Ball, Coach Blake. Shout out what Stanley Dunbar does, his Breakthrough Academy. Coach Najee said he goes back to semi-pro with you. He's doing great things up there
Yeah,
as a line
Najee
coach
Barrows.
now.
Naj, what's up, baby? That's my man, man. Good
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, definitely.
He was a hell of a football player. He's a hell of a coach and even better man, man. Somebody else I'm
Yes,
glad to call my friend, man, and my brother.
definitely. Shout out Beast Coast Academy, 401, Emerson Kilgore,
Yeah,
Willie
big
Edwards.
M.
There's so many people in Rhode Island, but thanks, Mike, man. I know you had a long day, so I'm not going to hold you any longer, but yo, we'll talk soon, and you're welcome to come on anytime. And yo, people, tonight, Coventry High School basketball team was going to give their 50-50 to the West Warwick boys that are in the hospital right now from the head-on car accident they were in a couple nights ago.
Oh, wow.
So, and I know the kids need blood, plasma, so if anybody can help that situation out, and I'll keep them in my prayers. Mike, thank you. I appreciate it, and
No
I will
doubt.
definitely talk soon.
Mike, keep doing what you're doing, man. Spreading the word for Rhode Island football, man. Just know we appreciate you out here, man. Great,
I'm
great job,
trying.
brother.
People leave me alone.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's working out. I see that studio's all upgraded from when we
You
first talked
know,
the first time. So,
we working. We
yeah, you
working.
got commercials and everything, all these banners up here. You doing all right? I see you,
I'm
baby.
trying to, man. I'm trying to, Coach
Nah, I
Murray. Thank
appreciate
you.
you, though, man.
You're
Appreciate
legendary in Pawtucket. I'm not gonna say you're a legend yet, but you're legendary. Because legend will mean past tense. But
you. Right.
you're definitely legendary. What you're doing in Pawtucket, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, talk to you again, Mike
Yes, sir.
Murray. Shea Raid is doing his thing, man. But everybody, thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Big shout out to everybody holding it down. Coldwell Banker, Coastal Homes, 401 Strength and Fitness. Big shout out to Voice Sports. We'll see what's going on with them. R&R Elite Recruits, definitely give them a call, man. Coach Murray holding it down for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely. I got something to talk about, but we're gonna hold that thought. Thank you. Shout out to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together, for sure, man. Rhode Island football. We just have to hold it down, right? But these 14-year-old kids that are coming up, the kids I seen what Coach Nod had going on up there. Coach Nod just comes back from Vegas. BDP went to the Pro Bowl. If I post something stupid, right, and somebody shares it, like, how am I gonna be mad at somebody else because they shared the stupid thing that I posted? Like seriously. But shout out to Mike Murray. We'll talk a lot about a couple other situations coming up. Emerson Kilgore, big shout out to Ryan McCormick over there. And like I said, we always want to thank the people that make this possible. Shout out to Mark Wright, Coldwell Banker, Coastal Homes, always holding it down, a presidential award winner. I think we're gonna have big old Uncle Felix back on this season. I like to try to get him to come on this week when we're talking about the best high school coaches. Who are the best? What do you think are the best Rhode Island high school coaches right now? Because there's some good ones on the list. I probably have over 40 people that sent me in. I asked people for the top 10, and you could send in the top 10 as well. I probably got someone said you should do the 5 worst high school programs. Oof. The 5 worst high school programs. Where do we even start? But you know what? I mean, all programs. Pawtucket was in the toilet a couple of years ago. Pawtucket, Jimmy Cook builds a different program. EWG a few years ago, 6th worst team in the nation. They make a comeback. They build a program. A lot of teams are down and then they come up. Some of these teams, small communities, look at Tiverton this last season. You can't brag when you beat Tiverton this last season. I mean, Tiverton was really, really, really suffering, and so Bob Murray, one of the longest tenure coaches going on, he steps down. So we'll see what happens with Tiverton. We're gonna see what happens with Tiverton, but shout out Mike Murray for coming on. I made a video. Yeah, let's call on that. Nah, but really, man, like I don't understand that you getting mad, right? Because you post something on social media, right? And you mad because I repost it. I'll back up any coach that's on my platform. Um, Anybody. I just think it's never funny when that happens. So just leave me alone. You don't rock with me, that's cool. Just leave me alone. That's all. If you can dish it, you definitely have to be able to take it. Do not dish it if you can't take it. I can't wait to see this new alignment coming up. I think they should just make a bigger Division 4. You should put Tolman, I mean, not Tolman, you should put Tollgate down there in Division 4. North Providence, Juanita Sanchez, North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles, they should all be in Division 4. you, Let me see. Let me get it up here so I can see exactly what I'm looking at. Hold on. What is this one? This is Division 4, how the alignment is going to work. What do you got? You got Central Falls, Blackstone Valley Prep, Hope, EWG Pro Co-op, Smithfield, Davies, Tiverton, and Scituate. Them are the teams that they have right now to move down, and the league wants to keep Division 4 competitive. Take Pawtucket out the equation. Division 4 was a very competitive program. It was probably one of the most competitive divisions in Rhode Island football last season. If you look at a lot of the games came down, they were very, very close games, similar. Now you look at this is how we're going to have the divisions now. But this is all going to change, so I don't even know like why we're really going over this. Should Mount Hope be in Division 3? All right. West Warwick, I think West Warwick definitely should be in Division 3. Let me know if you object to any of these teams being in their respective divisions. Pilgrim, definitely. Shout out Coach Blake, really belong in Division 3. Middletown, okay, I ain't mad at that. Rogers, Johnston, I think they could be in Division 2. Pawtucket definitely belongs in Division 3. Juanita Sanchez, they should be in Division 4. Tolman, Division 2, definitely. Tolman should be in Division 2. Shout out to Tolman. I don't have no Tolman slander. And I know for a fact that Tolman didn't ask to go to Division 3. I know that for a fact. I don't even think they could bring themselves to ask to go to Division 3. And why would Tolman go to Division 3? Have they not been in the playoffs the last couple of seasons? So they hold their own in Division 2. So leave Tolman there. Coventry, they're in Division 2 under Coach Dunbar. They go down to 3. They win a championship. They come back to 2. Oh, and speaking of Coventry, why is their Super Bowl banner, their Super Bowl is not hung up? Why is their trophy not in the case? Like, are you serious? You won a Super Bowl. Celebrate it. Enjoy it. Don't know if you see it again. Charahoe, Division 3. Yeah, Charahoe played good football. They were very strong against Westerly in the beginning of the year. They played Pilgrim very well early on. North Smithfield lost a few kids their first Charahoe game. Yeah, so Charahoe definitely very, decent team holding their own. Had a good quarterback this last year. Narragansett, yes. People said they should go to 2. Absolutely not. Narragansett, yeah, you win back to back, right? But that don't get you there so fast, If Narragansett wins another year, can we make the argument that Narragansett goes to Division 2? But then if this next alignment is a multi-year alignment, if it's a quad, is it going to be a 4-year alignment, 2-year alignment? So say it's a 4-year alignment and Narragansett starts winning. Are they going to stay in 3 or are they going to move? Lincoln, tough couple of years, man. Lincoln hasn't really been competitive since 2019, right? North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles, they're victims of their own success, like Burrville, like EG. If you look at this team, North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles, in the 50 years that they've been in RIIL, they only won like 3 playoff games in 50 years. All right, but the problem is the formula with the 80 and 20 or whatever you want to call it, 90-10, the formula says they had success, right? So, okay, they went undefeated one year. They won the Super Bowl. They had decent numbers. But look at Division 4 that year. They lose the Super Bowl. Next year, they go undefeated. They win. Coach Pennington wins Coach of the Year. They're being pretty much they're being victims of that, So I think they should be in Division 4. I don't think North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles can really can they handle it? Can they handle it a couple years in Division 3? They finished the season with what did they finish the season with? 20 players. Hang on. They finished the season with 20 players. They graduate 6, right? So they have 14 to start the year off. Not sure how many freshmen are going to come up. Just say 4 or 5 freshmen come up. Hopefully they can get more. Every senior this year on every team should be responsible of bringing 2 players into the team, 2 players into the program. Tonight at Coventry High School, we announced it earlier, the 50-50 was going to be given to the West Warwick teenagers that got injured in that head-on car accident. Our prayers go out to their families, so definitely. And I call out all the schools in Rhode Island to give their 50-50s to these kids as well. Coventry's leading the charge, so we're calling out all these schools to come up with something to give to these West Warwick teenagers and their families that are going through so much. Let's show it as a sports community we stand together. A lot of people say that it's not about Rhode Island football or Rhode Island basketball. It's about your individual school. It's about Pawtucket, or it's about Rogers or Lincoln or Johnston or Westerly or Central. Let's show and help these 2 West Warwick teenagers out. Let's show our support. Let's band together and support them. Now tonight, Coventry High School, salute to Coventry basketball team. They were given their 50-50 to the West Warwick teenagers. So salute to them. Definitely big salute to them, man. It's just a total shame. Well, let me give you guys Division 2 while we're at it, but I don't know if we like any of these divisions, Look at this. Cumberland, Portsmouth, SK, Burrville, Cranston West, Shea, EG. It looks like that whole side is D1. I kind of like the other side. St. Ray's, Woonsocket, Westerly, Mount Pleasant, EP, Cranston East, Classical, Moses Brown. I'm thinking, let's see. Cumberland could be back in 1. Portsmouth, all right. SK, say what you want. They challenged in the playoffs last season. Burrville, put them in 2. Barrington, if you don't leave them in 2, you're not going to hear the end of the crying from Sandy Gorham. He's going to go in there saying we can't sustain. We don't have the kids. You can't put us in 1. They'll rip us apart. So you're going to have to leave Sandy Gorham and Barrington in 2. You never hear the end of it. It'd be the same old, and, people that are in that room know what I'm talking about. Cranston West. Should Cranston West be in 2 or 1? You can make the argument either way. Shea. That's what I wanted to ask Coach Murray. What he felt about Shea being moved to Division 2. And usually the coaches are they pretty much say this: it don't matter who we play. We're looking forward to our first week of football. You could put us in Division 8. You could put us in 1. We're just going to play our competitive game of football. So, Shea, not mad at them going to Division 2. EG, definitely not mad. People say, but EG was in the playoffs. Yo, just about everybody was in the playoffs, unless you were Doodle Brown. If you were so bad and couldn't make the playoffs last season, then that's your problem. Like, everybody made the playoffs last year. So, I mean, look, EG won what? 1 game, if I'm not mistaken. They were in the shout out to EG, another coach that's high on our coaches' chart. That's another coach that a lot of Rhode Island people are voting for. The guy up there, I think it's Coach George. You know, big shout out to him. Hello, baby. Welcome home.
Hi.
Big shout out to Coach George, you know, doing what he has going on up there. A lot of coaches are really, you know, giving him a lot of props. But I'm going to drop that show this week. We're going to have Richard Addison on this week. A lot of people call him OG. 81 years old, Richard Addison. Someone asked, why he's so grumpy? So he's 81 years old. But here's a guy that's been around Rhode Island high school sports since him being a teenager. I look forward to hear what Richard Addison has to say. He's definitely gonna light us up. You know what I mean? He has a lot of history. Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to Richard Addison. We're gonna have him on. I know Kyle Green's gonna be on soon. And we're even getting some coaches from South Carolina that are gonna come on. Any state, like, if you want to talk about your program, definitely come on. Okay, so we talked about Division 2, Division 4, 3. I mean, Division 1, is there really anything to talk about? You talk about, if you were having this conversation with Coach Washington, shout out Coach Washington, he's like, I'm the best. Everyone else, just put them behind me. But that's how you're supposed to think. Salute to Coach Washington. You know, I gotta say, when they did this setup, Coach Washington let it be known, yo, we said we'll play anybody. Coach Washington said, I'm staying. I want to play the best. It ain't. He said, win or lose, it ain't. It's not about that. I want to play the best. You know. So salute to Coach Washington. But yeah. So we'll wait for this alignment to come out. You know, everyone stop being butthurt. No, I'm not bashing coaches. You know, but if you could dish it, you gotta be able to take it. And yes, I know you're watching this shows. But thank you, everybody. I got no hate, man. I got no hate at all. And no hate at all. You know what I mean? And don't forget, they definitely need some more officials. Yeah, I think you can even contact Emerson. Yelling at the refs will help your team win because refs really like that. We lose 10,000 officials every year. Could it be that many nationwide? Probably 10,000. That's probably not a big number. You know, but yeah, we had a great show last night. Coach Emerson Kilgo, I could still call him Coach. Oh yeah, it is a little bit. Sorry. I thought it had caramel. My wife brings me in a coffee. She has caramel in hers. I ain't really feeling the caramel thing. But let's see what else. I wish I had that other video up here, man. But big shout out to Behind.
I two-step and do my own dance. I ain't rocking shit else. I wear my own brand. Ball game everything. Ball game snapback. Ball game V-neck. Ball game backpack. Ball game sticks to the seats of the Cadillac. Disrespect my movement. I ain't having that. Get your girl.
Looking to throw. Avila Santos catches. Caught. They flip it to a lineman who's in. Touchdown. UMass Dartmouth. What a creative play. The catch by Vincent, the toss to the lineman.
You could appreciate that being a lineman, right? Did you see that?
I've
now,
never
when we
seen anything
talked
like
to
that in my
Coach
life,
McCormick
Austin.
about that,
The catch from Vincent, let's take a look
said
here.
it wasn't planned, but
This
they
was
practiced that
unbelievable.
play.
A good throw from
That
Santos.
actually
He
made
would have the first down right there,
ESPN
but
Sports
then he
Analytics
flipped it
pitched
to
it
Gamir,
right to him.
and he just bulldozes his way to the pylon.
What a game
That
against
is
Alfred
unbelievable.
State.
Go to Gamir on
And
the
that
pitch
was the
there.
senior
What
day
else can you
game.
say? I mean, just the creativity from Mark Robichaud and his offenses. There you see Gamir with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
That was pretty awesome. But thank you, everybody. That's it for tonight. Big shout out to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together. Let me see if I don't have that. I actually have to load it up in here. Definitely big shout out to Rally Point. The only way to stand is together. And if you want to sponsor the program, let me know. We're gonna have some good stuff this season. You know, I know a lot of coaches that will be on. I know some that won't, but it's definitely all good. We can't wait till the new alignment comes out. Is the league still asking that we have 5 games? And is the league still asking that we have 5 games and the school picks the other 5 games? That's a question that was somebody told me if we can ask some of the coaches. And the other one was, how is the playoffs going to go by a point system? Yep, I think that was the other question that they had. Was it going to be 5 games, and was it going to go by a point system to make the playoffs? But it's interesting how it's definitely going to be realigned. Worst Pot played like I'm his friend. What a backstabber. Oh, interesting. Yes, sir, that you rock with him. He's my guy. Oh. See, somebody said today, Rhode Island football, their true feelings are in Mikey Rebello's inbox. And you ain't kidding. Look, I want to show you something. Let me see if you can see that bottom number. Let it focus. See that inbox? 200 and something in, but like really. But it's all good, but we're just going to promote football, positivity. Coventry High School tonight, 50-50 raffle is going to the West Warwick teenagers hurt in that horrible car accident. I actually got called out for a post about that from, I think it might have been a family member of the driver of the vehicle, and they said I was insensitive putting Hatchery Road where the guy lives. He lives on Hatchery Road, I guess. And they said I put it in a post, and it was kind of insensitive because he has family, and he wasn't watching the Super Bowl. We found out. No, he was in the hospital. I don't know. Am I supposed to feel bad? You know, I feel bad for them teenagers that are in the hospital. That's who I feel bad for. Not sure I could feel bad for the other guy. Alexander, whatever his name was. Not sure I could really feel bad for him. There's 2 kids in the hospital right now that we need blood for, plasma for. Yeah, so I'm not sure that I could really feel bad for that guy. But we let the Lord deal with that. Yeah, we'll definitely let the Lord deal with that.
And we keep it real podcast network. Shout out to Kim.
You nervous with butterflies in your stomach? Don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work. He ain't prepared me to quit.
you'd be like, yo, I see the trunk and everything right there.